Hello, beautiful people. I'm Ren. Today we're going to talk about the priest changes to healers in the War Within Season 3. They're making changes to our mana mostly and a couple of healing cooldowns, so let's just get into it. So Holy Nova mana cost reduced by 87%, and this is for both Disc and Holy. For Disc, Luminous Barrier Absorption increased by 100%, but it's reduced beyond 5 targets. So this dev note's kind of complicated. At 20 targets, it should be the same strength, and it'll be much more powerful at 5 players. At 10 players, it'll be a little more powerful, 15 closer to the 20, and then beyond 20, it'll be lower effectiveness. So what they're trying to do is making like group-wide healing cooldowns a little bit less powerful in 30-man content. And then the other developer note for Disc is they just want you to have more mana costs for your atonement application, and they want to maintain the you burn all your mana for applying atonement, and then you kind of regen mana as you're doing damage, and then you burn it again and you regen. So they kind of like that. So Powerwood Shield mana increased 8%, Radiance increased 20%, and then Surge of Light now reduces the mana cost of Flash Heal by 50%, and that used to make it free. The big buff here for Disc is Ultimate Penitence. So right now, Ultimate Penitence is about 30% to 50% of a ramp with a Shadow Fiend, and with this, maybe it'll be half as powerful or like closer to 60 or 70% as powerful after this change, like of 30% increased healing. That's very, very substantial. Okay, holy changes. So this is the same note. They're adjusting healing cooldowns to be more powerful than low level groups, and this is actually something I asked for when I made my video. Like, can you guys fix healing cooldowns? Like, please just like make them good in dungeons. Like, the fact that Disc is through atonement and its healing cooldown is buffed in dungeons, like, and everyone else is just sitting there, oh, my trank sucks, my divine hymn sucks, my healing tide totem sucks. They're doing that with like all the healing cooldowns. So Divine Hymn is going to be twice as strong in dungeons than it is in a 20-man raid. Same change as Disc. Surge of Light now reduces Flash Heal to 50% instead of free. And then this is actually a massive change. Apotheosis now reduces mana cost by 50%, and it used to be 100%. So they're basically reducing our whole kit mana cost by 5%. So we got Heal, Prayer of Healing, Flash Heal, Prayer of Mending, both Holy Words, and Renew. So that's just a 5% mana drop across the board. They're trying to compensate for this Apotheosis nerf. And I think this is kind of their plan to fix Holy's mana in dungeon. I think it's a pretty good plan. Apotheosis uptime in raid is very, very high. It can be like 30%, 40%. Like, it's crazy how high this uptime can be in raid. In dungeons, it's a lot less. Like, some players are running the increased Apotheosis duration when you cast a Holy Word, but most people in dungeons are running Divinity. So this is like a bigger raid mana nerf than dungeons. And the second reason I think they're trying to balance dungeon mana is because they reduced Holy Fire's mana by 40%. So between the 87% on Holy Nova and Holy Fire reduced by 40%, like that's massive. Like you can actually do damage and not worry about running So I talked to the priest Discord, and they told me that this is a mana nerf to Holy in raid. And they said it's also a mana nerf in dungeons, but I'm a little more skeptical about that. Like, at least with my playstyle, I don't think this is a mana nerf. I think it's probably going to be relatively agnostic. Hopefully it's close to relatively agnostic because like I cast a lot of Holy Fires, I cast a lot of Holy Novas, and those being like way cheaper, I think it'll be good in dungeons. I think I'll feel better about my mana in dungeons next patch, but we'll see. Okay, so the epiphany change is kind of like hard to understand, I guess, but I think I get it. So right now, let's say you have 1 second of cooldown on Prayer of Mending and epiphany procs. All you're getting is 1 second of value by using that holy word. So like there's a heavy incentive to not use your holy word until after you just use prayer of mending. So you'd like want a prayer of mending, then holy word, holy word, holy word, and that way you'd get some value out of epiphany, reducing the cooldown of prayer of mending. Now they've kind of removed that requirement, so you can cast like as long as there's 2 seconds left on prayer of mending, you can cast a holy word, and then when there's 1 second left, you cast prayer of mending, and then 1 second later it'll come off cooldown because that's when it was going to come off cooldown anyway. So I really like this change a lot. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to look at the tier set that has been announced. So for Disc, or for Holy Archon, Halos reduce the cooldown of your Holy Word Serenity and Holy Word Sanctify by 5 seconds, and Resonant Energy additionally increases the healing of your Holy Words by 5%. So every time your Holy Word, like every time your Halo goes out and back in, you're going to get 5% increased healing on your Holy Words, and the 4-piece for Archon is really nice. So While Power Surge is active, every 2 casts of Holy Word Serenity or Sanctify adds another halo at 100% effectiveness up to 2 extra halos. So instead of 4 halos, you're going to have like 6 halos. Like that's really good. And every time your halo goes off, you're going to be getting more Holy Words. Like Holy Priest is really fun when your Holy Words are big and it feels like impactful to use them. Like it's never going to feel as fun as it was when we had Salvation and you had that mini game where you tried to reduce the cooldown of Salvation, but it's still pretty fun. All right, so now we'll go on to Oracle for both Holy and um, Discipline. So casting Prayer of Mending heals your target for 1400 spell power. That's like really good. So like the spell power coefficient on that is like basically as strong as a Holy Word Serenity. So like every second, every like 8 seconds, you're gonna have a Holy Word Serenity worth of healing on people. You're gonna cast it on cooldown every time now. Like this massive spell power, like even if people are full health, you're still gonna want to cast it on cooldown just so that you can get the mastery on them. And plus, like Prayer of Mending smacks as Oracle, so it's really good. And then the Disc Oracle 2 set is the first bolt of each penance damages for 200%. So this is really big because this is like no overhealing. Your first bolt of penance should almost never overheal ever. So like this is really nice tier set that it's not like an overhealing tier set. Some tier sets are like gonna make you cause you to overheal a lot. And then the 4-piece is insanely strong. Like it's like I don't understand why it's so strong. Like casting Premonition of Piety or Solace grants 2 stacks of Insight at 100% effectiveness. So for a disc ramp as an Oracle, you can go from having 4 penances to 6 penances, and those penances are also going to be extending the duration of your Shadow Fiend. So it should be maybe a little easier to get your 7th penance or 8th penance during the Shadow Fiend window, like because you're getting extra extension. So that's very, very, very strong. I think that what's going to end up happening is people are going to still continue to use Piety with Insight because that 20% healing amp from Piety is really strong, and you kind of want your ramp to be like turbo strong. But I think there's like a pretty good argument that Solace, you might hold it and you might use your clairvoyance ramp and then go with your 4 penances, and then your next mini ramp 45 seconds or whatever later, you're going to use Solace just so that you can get insight. So you can, instead of casting 1 penance on that mini ramp, you're going to be casting 3 penances on that mini ramp. The same could go for Piety too. Like, there are definitely scenarios where you'll be going 4 penances, big ramp, and then your mini ramp without Shadow Fiend is going to be uh, 3 penances. Okay, I haven't even gotten to the second half of this thing. Consuming a stack of Premonition of Insight increases your haste by 1% for 10 seconds. So you're going to get 6% haste during your big ramp. It's not like super, super huge, but again, like we were just talking about how this is going to make it easier to maintain your Shadow Fiend for longer. So with more haste, your penance is going to be shorter cooldown, and like that's really, really, really strong. I don't know, man. If they don't change this, like it's another disc season. And now Void Weaver. So Void Blast and Penance damage increased by 40%, and Void Blast cast time is reduced by 20%. So I really like playing Void Weaver in dungeons and stuff. Like I do enjoy the big power word shields and stuff, but I really like playing Void Weaver in dungeons. Like having that 20-second cooldown of Mind Blast, or it's like 18 or whatever, and then you have the 30-second cooldown of Mindbender. Like between Mind Blast and Mindbender, you're gonna have like an Entropic Rift or a Mindbender up the whole time. So I do think that the Void Weaver disc set is very strong, and I wouldn't be surprised if there are some fights that, like when you don't need an absurd amount of healing and you need consistent healing, I wouldn't be surprised if Void Weaver was the play, in raid at least. I still think in dungeons, like, I think you're probably going to be doing Oracle in dungeons still. Like, people are addicted to big shields, and if they don't change them, then, people will continue to be addicted to big shields. So, Void Weaver 4-piece. Void Blast now causes Atropic Rift to grow. Collapsing increases Entropic Rift's damage by an additional 10%, and that damage of your next Mind Blast is increased by 200% based on the size of Entropic Rift when it collapses. So, I think the Oracle 4-piece is like insanely stronger than this. I think a lot of the power of this tier set for Void Weaver is in the 2-piece. like extra void blasts. Like you get 20% more void blast because it's 20% faster to cast. Uh, Pretty good. And penance is a little bit weak on void weaver, so having increased penance is quite nice. And also, like the skill cap for entropic rift is kind of complicated. So like when you cast entropic rift, it's gonna like explode, right? And that explosion does atonement healing. So in raid, if it turns out Void Weaver is the play for some bosses, like you're going to be very specific about when you want to cast your Mind Blast. Like you might be casting your Mind Blast like 4 seconds before the damage burst so that your Entropic Rift actually explodes in time for people to get actual effective healing. Because otherwise this tier set is going to go into overhealing. Um, but I mean the same can be said for this tier set. Like a lot of the time for Oracle, you're healed, like everyone's healed up by the time your fourth penance goes out anyways. And like because of like and that's if you don't cast a smite in between. If you cast a smite in between, then there's no way that you're making it 6 casts of smite and penance before the group is healed up. So, I mean, both of these should go into overhealing and I don't know. Anyway, so I think Priest is in a really strong spot. I really like the changes for Holy, uh, for Mythic Plus. I think they're really, really, really good news. Like, I'm very excited that I don't have to stop casting damaging spells when I hit 20% mana. I'm very excited that Prayer of Mending is now basically a blue Holy Word and it's going to heal like almost as much as a blue Holy Word. Uh, like upfront healing is so nice, and because Prayer of Mending is a healing in the future button, and it's gonna feel really bad when we lose this tier set in the future, like going into the fourth season or whatever. Maybe we get to keep it if the fourth season is like faded season. Like if this is the end boss of the whole expansion, we might be able to keep it. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think and appreciate your time. Have a good day.